In a provocative move, India deploys 50,000 more troops to its disputed border with China. India has deployed 50,000 more troops to its disputed Himalayan border with China, action it claims is in response to a Chinese military buildup. Last year the rival nuclear-armed powers came the closest to all-out war since they fought a month-long border war in 1962. This included a bloody pitched battle on a mountain ridge in the Galwan Valley on the night of June 15, 2020, in which 20 Indian and 4 Chinese soldiers died, and an Indian military operation in late August that saw thousands of Indian troops seize a series of mountain ridges near Pangong Tso Lake, which forms part of the current de facto border between India and China. Indian officials subsequently admitted that this highly provocative action, reportedly facilitated by U.S. satellite intelligence, could easily have resulted in a violent clash with Chinese troops spiraling into war. With its most recent troop deployments, India now has at least 200,000 and, according to some reports, as many as 250,000 troops arrayed along its northern border. According to a report published by Bloomberg last week, the additional troops have been deployed to at least 5 bases along with the full breadth of India's more than 3,000-kilometer 2,000 miles border with China. 20,000 of them have been deployed to Leh in Indian-held Ladakh. Along with the adjacent Chinese-held Aksai Chin, eastern Ladakh has been the focal point of the current flare-up in the Sino-Indian border dispute. India is also in the midst of a crash infrastructure building campaign in its border regions, developing new fortifications, airstrips, and road and rail links to swiftly move troops and supplies. Late last summer, when it took possession of the first of the 35 Rafale fighter jets it has purchased from France, the Indian Air Force made a point of immediately deploying them over Indian-held Ladakh. India has also established a new 18 fighter jet squadron aimed against China based in Ambala in the North Indian state of Haryana and intends to soon establish a similar squadron at its Hesamara Air Base in West Bengal to police the eastern section of its border with China. Citing people familiar with the matter, the Bloomberg report said the Indian military has positioned itself to assume a much more aggressive stance. Whereas previously, the report explained, India's military presence was aimed at blocking Chinese moves, the redeployment will allow Indian commanders more options to attack and seize territory in China if necessary, in a strategy known as offensive defense. The report added that Indian forces are now more mobile. This is due to recently acquired US-made helicopters, which can ferry soldiers and artillery including the British-made M777 howitzer from Himalayan valley to valley. India's officer corps and its government, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his far-right Bharatiya Janata Party, have repeatedly boasted that India is ready to confront China. Last week, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh pledged India would give a befitting reply if provoked. With the world's fourth-largest military budget, ballistic missiles, and nuclear weapons, India certainly possesses weapons of mass destruction, meaning that any Sino-Indian conflict, even if it erupts due to miscalculation and is initially confined to their respective border regions, threatens to rapidly spiral into an unparalleled catastrophe for the people of Asia and the world. Following the Ladakh incursions, India openly signaled two related political costs, that the crisis would disrupt the economic relationship with China, and that it would compel India to deepen its security relationship with the United States. In both cases, the threat of more harm to come was worse than the direct impact of Indian actions during the crisis. India has not broken off relations with China or entered into an alliance with the United States, but it signaled that it could easily move in those directions, and it was that coercive threat of yet unrealized harm that probably motivated China. Both of these threats grew significantly more pronounced after the 15th of June skirmish in the Galwan Valley in which Indian soldiers were killed. Indian domestic opinion turned decisively against China. The government would henceforth face less domestic resistance to taking a harder line against China. Foreign Minister Jaishankar declared that the India-China relationship is today truly at a crossroads, implying a threat of a more comprehensive economic decoupling. Early in the crisis, India had taken punitive measures against China by banning some Chinese origin apps and tightening rules on foreign investment. Even if those measures did not in themselves impose significant costs on China, New Delhi judged that holding the future economic relationship at risk, rather than the local balance of military power, was its best source of bargaining leverage.